You all know our next speaker very well. I was proud to call him my congressman. I miss that. 12 years representing New Hampshire's 2nd Congressional District, Charlie Bass was a leader on such important issues as the Energy Policy Act, the Deficit Reduction Act, the Satellite Home Viewer Extension Act, and the Medicare Modernization Act. We know him well for his Yankee frugality, his independent voice, his humor, and his humility. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce Congressman Charlie Bass.
That's right, you're going to have trouble because I'm going to walk around. That was I sent Grant the internet introduction that I have. It's 3 years old. I'm glad you left 98% of it out. I just want to say that I'm not a candidate for anything, but I'm here today to talk to you about what I see going on in New Hampshire and around the country. Let's start with the state. I used to go around to these events and say, we always be getting everybody whipped up to go out to the polls. I quoted an old former governor, I won't call him old, John H. Sununu. He used to say, the only thing we have to worry about is Republicans. When Republicans vote for Republicans, Republicans win. And everybody would cheer. The reason for that is that the independents used to break 60-40 for the Republicans. And the Republicans had a larger percentage of the registered voters than the Democrats. So if you got the bulk of the Republicans, almost all of them, and you could depend on the independents, the majority of the independents, there were very few Democrats who could take office. Those days are over. At least on paper, the Democrats now have a higher registration than the Republicans by approximately 1%. In 2006 and 2008, the independents broke 70-30 Democrat. So we can't stand here as a party and say that it's okay to have our meetings and our barbecues and so forth, depend on our own supporters and win elections. And let me suggest to you, as a party, that getting out there and griping about the Democrats doesn't have us win either. What I suggest we do is look at what is going on in New Hampshire and in Washington. Don't tell all those people that voted Democrat that the Democrats are screwing up and they're no good and they're never, because you're telling them in essence that they made a mistake. But what you do is go out there and say to somebody, a Republican or independent that is proud to have voted for John Lynch and Barack Obama and all that, say, well, I never thought the legislature was going to pass a gay marriage bill, gender-neutral bathrooms, decriminalization of marijuana, legalizing hemp, a seatbelt law. I don't know, they probably had a helmet law, wouldn't surprise me. They want to raise capital gains tax. They want to reenact the inheritance tax. I don't remember them talking about that during the election. Or at the federal level, talking about how did the Democrats ever succeed in spending $1 trillion in 60 days, and they didn't monetize one single dime of it. What about this Treasury Secretary who bought back, today, $138 billion worth of Treasury notes, and you know how he paid for them? He pushed the enter button on the computer. We have never had that happen that I'm aware of in American history. And what about, I don't remember talking about this candidate for president who is in essence going to propose a plan to federalize health care, which will guarantee that health care will be mediocre, expensive, and essentially unavailable. And I don't remember this president in the Congress talking about staying in Guantanamo, ramping up in Afghanistan, and adopting a policy in Iraq that is essentially the same one that John McCain had in the election last year. I don't quibble with him. I agree with him. But we have to get those people that were sold a bill of goods by the Democratic Party next year just to think about what we have today. As the economy turns around, we will be facing inflation that'll, and need to cover budget deficits that isn't about borrowing from your children and your grandchildren. It's about you. Forget about the children and the grandchildren. And it's going to be painful. Inflation is a deadly force. There's no way we can get around it. We cannot get all that money back. A budget that's up 7%. If you don't think all that stimulus spending is going to go into the baseline next year, or a lot of it, guess again. Organized labor. New Hampshire is about 4.5% to 5% labor union, organized labor. So it's not a big labor state. Organized labor gave President Obama $4.1 million last year. Between 2000 and 2008, they contributed about $24.5 million to Democrats and about $200,000 to Republicans. That's 8 years. I've never in my wildest dreams thought that General Motors and Chrysler would be brought into and out of bankruptcy with a plan that gives the investors, the shareholders, nothing. It's understandable, it's bankruptcy. The bondholders and secured creditors, in the case of Chrysler, about 29 cents on the dollar. In the case of GM, probably about 10% of the company. And organized labor, 55% of Chrysler and 17.5% of GM, plus in the case of GM, a proposed $7.9 billion in cash. If I were organized labor, I'd say that's a heck of a good return on a $24 million investment. But this isn't New Hampshire. This isn't New Hampshire at the state level or at the federal level. And so it is our job as Republicans not to whine and cry, but observe cheerfully and have people think about how Congress was. And it wasn't that bad, come to think of it. A Republican Congress never would have passed these $1 trillion increases in the budget. The Republican Congress never would have bailed out AIG with all these bonuses and everything else for the heads of these companies. A Republican Congress would never federalize health care. Republican Congress will start looking pretty good come January, February, March of next year. We as Republicans have to be ready not to complain, but to offer constructive answers to our nation's problems. And we need to be kind to those who have temporarily, hopefully, deserted our cause. And just make them understand that there's a place in America for good, pragmatic, practical, conservative, locally leadership-oriented government in America. And that's here. So we're buying low right now. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're going to sell high if we communicate our message of hope and opportunity and prosperity, individual liberty and freedom that we will see erode over the next year and a half in America. I'm really honored to speak here for a couple of minutes. Most of you I know. You all look better than I do. I just want to thank you for your continued loyalty and support for our party. It's a great party, and we will be coming back again sooner rather than later. Thanks a lot. God bless you.